Welcome to a very special edition of New Belt Day Review. I am Serge Moore, and this is the Cathedral. We have been working on this room since 2018, but everything you see here has taken over 25 years to acquire. There's a lot more to the cathedral than just belts. There's all types of trinkets, and yes, it can even light up and change colors.
I like to consider the cathedral something like my fortress of solitude. And just like Superman, I haven't had many visitors. Most of my friends and family live out of state. So by you visiting me here today, hey, that makes my day. So thank you for coming. And thank you for letting me share my love for this hobby with you. So let's get started with the 2022 73 belt collection in the cathedral. Let's start off with the belt that reignited my love for belt collecting, the 2013 Scratch Logo World title, re-leathered and re-stoned by two of the best in the business. This belt made me realize that I wanted all my belts re-leathered and re-stoned. We now use it as our tribute to The Rock, the great one. It's all about the U. Next up, we move on to NWA Tower, where we start with a concept big gold made by Fight Night Belts. Next down the line is an NWA Dome Globe made by Fandu Belts with a real leather strap. Next up is an NWA US title made in the USA by JP Belts. Here is an NWA TV title made by my good friend Mateen Ahmed at ELT Belts. And this one is special because it has the black instead of blue side plates, which I think make it look really cool. You can easily say that the National Wrestling Alliance is where wrestling started. And it's no different in the cathedral. It's what you first see when you walk in, as it should be. And that completes our tour of the NWA Tower. So you can't have a wrestling belt collection without big golds, baby. And we start off with one of the finest, the Fandu Lux Big Gold on a real leather strap. Absolutely amazing. Next up is a WWE Big Gold, the 4mm version with the upgraded simulated leather strap. And lastly, we have the Fandu Big Silver with a real leather strap by Paul Martin. I dedicated this one to a character I played in our old wrestling fed, The Terminator. So now we're finished with the big gold belts. I know it's only 3, but I love them all. Now, the next section, that's one of my favorites. So if you were around when these belts were being used, you should know why I named this one Titan Tower. The Andre 87, made by Classic Shields with leather by Romeo Anderson. I have a Fandu version of this belt that you'll see later, but I just had to have that WWF logo. The WWF block logo Big Eagle. One of my favorite belts. I fell in love with it the moment Stone Cold Steve Austin introduced it on Raw. And man, am I lucky that I won it in a raffle. Now, I'm not sure who made it, but it is amazing quality. The all gold WWF Winged Eagle, made by Classic Shields with Romeo Anderson leather. I got an amazing deal on this one since some of the plating was coming off. I plated it myself, and Viola. Oh boy, the next one is a treasure. The WWF red logo Intercontinental title, made by Classic Shields on Man in the Fog leather. As Randy Savage was one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, it's my honor to have made this belt as accurate as possible. We move on to a WWF European title on a green strap, made by Usman. This was a great deal on eBay that I couldn't pass up, but it's still an Usman, so I'm still in the market for a new one. Next up is the WWF Hogan 86, made by Classic Shields. We finish Titan Tower with the WWF $1 Million Belt, restoned by Louis Pitch. And with that, we finish Titan Tower and what is probably the greatest era in wrestling belt history. The next area in the Cathedral is a little bit cramped. But that's the way I like it. When I sit here and look up, I like to see all my favorite characters and performers. But what I really like to see is this beauty. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship Undertaker Special Edition. It was actually designed by Paul Martin, but we took the idea a little further. The leather is done by Kevin Lambert, and I did the restoning. A lot of purple. She is a beauty, and she is one of a kind. Oh, and yes, I collect side plates too. I've fought very hard to collect every single WrestleMania side plate. The Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, you name it. If it's special, I've tried to get it. There's a couple out there I haven't been able to find, like the Raw 25, but that's okay. I'm pretty happy with my current collection. Big One Tower. I thought this song might match. It's called Big One Tower for a reason. It has all the big mamas. And we start off with the biggest mama of all, the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship V4, made by Meon Belts. This replaced a Classic Shields version I had for years. And I'll tell you, Meon did a great job. But I don't want to tell you too much. Keep an eye out for a full review on this belt in 2023. And now it's time for some Latino heat. The WWE Undisputed V2 made by WWE Shop on a real leather strap made by MTF Belts on eBay and restoned by yours truly. Next up is the TNA Wildcat, the official TNA replica, and this one comes with a certificate of authenticity and the signature of the Stinger. But best of all, it's been restoned by yours truly. Next up is the Henning Belt, the AWA World Heavyweight title, made by ELT Belts. Mateen went to bat with me on this one. It's a 7.2 millimeter plate, HD all the way, baby. Up next is Lucha Underground Gift of the Gods. I don't know who the maker is, but the leather is stamped by Romeo Anderson, one of the best. And I gotta tell you, this one is a beast, and those side discs are magnetic and removable. We now see a UWF TV title made by Classic Shields, and I'm not sure, but I think they might have gone a little big on the art on this one. But since it's a Classic Shields, it's a keeper. We finish Big One Tower with the UFC Championship, the V3 made by Figures Inc. This one is on a real leather strap made by AJ's Belts for what is probably the best replica ever made. And there you have it. We use really big anchors to keep this one up against the wall. Big One Tower is probably the heaviest thing in my house. All right, it's time for the AEW Wall / Galaxy. I love this part of my room. So let's start off with that bitch. Her words, not mine. The AEW TBS title, made by, I have no idea. It was a gamble on eBay, and it paid off. This I call the AEW cabinet. On top of said cabinet, we have the Bastard, the AEW All Atlantic Championship, made by MA Championship Belts. I think he also might have gotten the art wrong, because it's probably a little too big, but boy, is she a beauty. And under the bastard, we have the official AEW World Title replica. We all know how bad the leather is. The plates are amazing, but the leather, stiff as a board. So I had my friend Mian Mudasar make me a strap. I didn't feel like paying a whole lot for one after paying so much for the plates. He sent it out, I made a backing for it myself, and Viola. Mian has made pretty much everything on this cabinet. This is the AEW TNT Championship. And, well, he did an amazing job. The stones are out of this world. It's the Sammy version, but I also got the Brody version coming. The official replica will be here sometime next year. Then we have the AEW Women's World Title V3, also made by... Did I tell you Mian made a lot of these? Yeah, he did. But it's a beauty, and there's a full review for her on my channel. Check it out. I can't tell you what I would have done during COVID if it wasn't for AEW. They really got me through some tough Wednesdays and Friday nights and gave me something to look forward to. So I gave them an entire wall in my room. I really appreciate watching them, and I look forward to many more years of entertaining pro wrestling. Oh, did you think you were done with AEW or Mian? No. Mian made these for me and I won them in a raffle. And then I bought this one from MA Championship Belts, who also made my AEW Trios tag. You can watch reviews on all three on my channel. Mira para allá, que tú ves, el campeonato de Florida. ¿Quién pensaba que el loco este hablaba español? Sorry about that. Florida is where I'm from, and this championship made by Neon Belts, it sits next to this mini cabinet I really don't care about, but also it sits next to this Mid-South North American title made by Dream Championship Belts. This Titan belongs in Big One Tower, but since I don't have any more space, Magnum gets his own tribute wall. Okay, so check this one out. This is the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, AJ Styles tribute. It's actually restoned by me and leathered by my friend Greg Nolan. Don't look too close because this was one of my first restone and stacking attempts, and it's not pretty. So it's good on display, but don't get too close. All right, everyone, as we venture into the mass that is my closet, we start at the very top, what I call Crystal Mountain. And we start with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, restoned and stacked by myself, re-leathered by Kevin Lambert with Fandu sidebars. We then move on to the WWE Universal title with all the same upgrades as the World title. Next up is the NXT North American title made by WWE Shop. It has no upgrades, but we did add some Undisputed Era side plates, as Undisputed Era was the last time we watched NXT. Next up is the NXT Championship, completely restoned by myself, a little project that me and my wife undertook. And as you can tell, I am still sporting Adam Cole. Again, that tells you how long it's been since I cared. Next up is the NXT Cruiserweight Championship by WWE Shop. I did restone this, but I've done nothing else for it. There are no side plates for it, so I care as much as WWE does. Next up, we have the new Intercontinental Championship, restoned and painted by myself. Leather is by Man in the Fog. I really wish they would have kept the old design, because this one... Ah! Oh my god, Shinsuke. We now see the current WWE United States Championship. I am currently looking for a new strap for this. It was a Christmas present from my in-laws, which I really appreciated. Here we see another Christmas present, this time from my wife. The Rock Brahma Bull belt made by WWE Shop and restoned with cubic zirconia by Serge Moore. I like that guy. We finished Crystal Mountain with the WWE UK title restoned and stacked with Fandu sidebars and re-leathered by Kevin Lambert. What a beast. If you head a little south, you run right into Intercontinental Boulevard. There's a lot to see on either side of the road, but more than anything, it tells you how much I love the Intercontinental title. It has always been my favorite. So let's start with the Nugget version. This one made by ELT Belts. And please, don't call it Cody. I hate that guy. The next two are commemoratives that I weighed down for added weight, but they're both plastic, so I really don't care. And then finally, on this side of the road, you have the yellow Intercontinental made by Figs Inc., which is a little hard to find. So let's head over to the other side of Intercontinental Boulevard, where you find my favorite versions, the black version. This one made by ORM, and this one made by WWE Shop on Paul Martin leather. And finally, we have the silver and blue Project Intercontinental, which are Figs Inc. plates I painted blue, and leather that's coming from Kevin Lambert. We now arrive at Tag Team Central. There are many Tag Team Championship belts, but these are what I consider the best. The WWF Bulldog World Tag Team titles made by Classic Shields. I owned two other versions of this same belt, but finally settled on this version by Classic Shields because, well, it was the best. Now we have the Demolition dual-plated World Tag Team titles made by Classic Shields on Romeo Anderson leather. The all-gold classic WWF World Tag Team titles made by Fandu on Paul Martin leather. The NWA World Tag Team titles made by Jagu John. The NWA USA Tag Team titles made by Dream Championship belts. This might come as a surprise to most, but the NXT Tag Team titles by WWE Shop on Man in the Fog leather are a classic belt in my book. I know most won't agree, but the SmackDown tag titles made by WWE Shop on Man in the Fog leather had a blue and silver attraction that I could not deny. And here is the latest addition to Tag Team Central, the AWA World Tag Team titles made by Muhammad Rekman. And finally, we have my favorite tag team title design, the NWA Concept tag titles made by Mion Belts. Why the NWA is not using these, I'll never know. And with that, we finish Tag Team Central. Now, let's move on to the wall right behind it. Welcome to the wall. And here we see WCW. The 94 WCW World title, made by Mion Belts. This version is so much better than the WWE Shop version, but right next to it is the WWE Shop version of the WCW US title. That's a lot of letters. So yeah, these are my two WCW belts. They both sit in the closet in this corner. There's not much else I can say about it really. But we got more letters. This is the USWA Unified title made by Jagu John. Then right next to that is the WCCW Championship belt, also made by Jagu John. Man, that's a lot of letters to remember. Now, I wasn't going to take all these belts out of the closet, guys, so it's going to get a little claustrophobic here, but you're looking at an undisputed V1 made by WWE Shop on Man in the Fog leather and restoned by yours truly. Now we've got an Andre 87 made by Fandu Belts on Kevin Lambert leather. This next beauty is a Hogan 85 made by Ali Anas. His leather is unbelievably soft, so I should be ordering some from him, and I will be doing a review on this belt sometime next year, so keep an eye on that. Next up is a dual-plated winged eagle. I do not know who the maker is, but I won this in a raffle with that big eagle I showed you earlier, and it is amazing. It has an amazing curve. I just wish I knew who the maker was. Next up is the current version of the dual-plated winged eagle from WWE Shop. I got this off a great deal on eBay that I couldn't pass up, and I'm glad I didn't because it's a beauty. Lastly, we have the WWE Oval Intercontinental made by Figs Inc., restoned by myself. I got this from a guy in Europe. It took weeks to get here, but it was in really good shape. I plated it and it was good to go. And lastly, inside on the wall, we have the WWF scratch logo Big Eagle made by Figs Inc. This one is on Man in the Fog leather and restoned by myself. And it is sweet. My sentiments exactly as we get to the end of our list with the spinners. We start with the Edge Rated R spinner from WWE Shop, a must-have in everyone's collection. And the final two on our list, the Mini Edge Rated R title from WWE Shop, partially restoned, and the Mini Spinner title from WWE Shop, also partially restoned. Now, just because we're out of belts doesn't mean we're out of fun. I have swords. I have the sword from Game of Thrones and the sword from Thundercats.
Sword of Omens, give me sight beyond sight.
I'm also a big fan of everything DC, Marvel, zombies, The Walking Dead, movies, video games, you name it. If it's in the media, I'm a fan. So I've been to a lot of conventions, met a lot of famous people, a lot of really cool people. Hey, Daryl. I'm also a very big fan of anything supernatural, including the TV show. Me and my dog Ringo used to play with this frisbee out back. He died last year. So my wife made me this frisbee as a plaque to remember him. I miss you, buddy. Now, I'm sure if you've been paying attention during this video, you've seen that a lot of my furniture has stickers on them. I always felt like my furniture was a little too bare and plain. So I got a couple of stickers, then a couple of more, and the next thing I knew, everything was covered with stickers. And they represent everything that I love in this world. Oh, and did you know I also collect championship rings and police badges? Yeah, pretty much anything that's printed on metal. So now that I've shared the cathedral with all of you, I have to share some unfortunate news. This will be the last tour of the cathedral. Our family is moving out of state next year, so the cathedral will have to be torn down. And I will probably be forced to sell half of these belts. But that's okay, because wherever we go, we'll just rebuild it. And what does that mean? That means that by rebuilding, I get to bring you many more new belt days. So don't forget, subscribe, like, share, and more than anything, thank you for watching. Surge More, out.